I thought she was being a little much, to be honest. No, sir, she was the smart one of the two of you. What's up, guys? It's Devin Harrington, the average Gen Xer, and welcome back to my channel, where today we are taking a look at some posts on the Regretful Parents subreddit by folks who say that having kids was a huge mistake. Having kids is also a permanent mistake. You cannot undo it. You can walk away, you can run away, but you can never separate yourself from the children you bring into this world. And that's why I make this content, because I just wish people would think long and hard and read the entire Regretful Parents sub before they choose to have a baby. So let's check out these posts. But first, this is the part of the video where I beg and plead with any animal lovers out there to please consider fostering or volunteering on site for your local animal shelter. This is my current foster, Miss Goldie, and she's 4 months old, recovering from a fractured pelvis. And she came into the shelter as a stray, and now she is here at my house learning how to be a dog. And yes, and she is adorable. And in a week or so, she should be ready for adoption. So fostering, bringing an animal into your house is not as hard as you think. It's not as difficult. It's not as expensive. And it's not as hard as you think to let that animal get adopted and go to their own family. So please give it some thought, help save the world, and do it for the animals. Bye. Okay, please remember, as always, that I don't read these stories written by regretful parents to mock or shame these folks in any way. These are just cautionary tales that I hope that someone out there will see and take to heart before they decide to bring another useless consumer into the world. And I know nobody thinks of their own children as a useless consumer, but look, there's 8.5 billion of us almost on this planet right now. Not all of us are useful. Okay, first post written by someone who deleted their account, and it's called, Yeah, Fucking Magical. Venting, no advice. Quote, oh, but having children is the most magical thing that can happen in a woman's life. Bullshit! Yesterday, I went to a local festival, and I obviously had to bring my 2-year-old toddler because it was the weekend and the daycare wasn't open. And the entire time, I had to deal with meltdown after meltdown because he didn't want to sit in the stroller. It was very crowded, and the alley was very narrow, so being out of the stroller was impossible. I did get him out once, and he went straight to the nearby pond to try and throw himself in it. Stopping him caused another meltdown. Strapping him into the stroller, another meltdown. Mind you, this woman is at a festival. Sounds like she's at an outdoor festival, maybe a Ren Fair, some kind of art festival, where you just walk around in the sunshine on a Saturday afternoon and enjoy yourself. And instead, she just had to have a kid. And people think that, oh, well, I'll still do things when I have kids. I'll just bring the kids with me. Look, here's this family on YouTube that has 7 children and they travel everywhere. Yeah, that ain't happening. That's like the people who just assume that their kid is going to, they don't think about the baby years. They just dream of having a 10-year-old in Little League, just be serious here. She goes on. Meanwhile, all around me, cute couples of people the same age as me, having the time of their lives, slowly walking, enjoying the food, taking selfies, chatting, laughing. Ain't no way I'm the one living a magical life. Damn right, lady. There was one couple taking selfies with the cherry blossoms, and that moment I realized that what I'm living is no different from going to prison. Always isolated, always uncomfortable, barely being able to eat or sleep, and always treated like a doormat. And this woman is talking about, I know I say this in every freaking Regretful Parents video that I make, but these folks are talking about the thing that we are all told is going to make us a whole, complete woman. as far as women are concerned. I mean, men get the same thing, I'm sure. You don't know real love until you have a baby. Bullshit. There's no guarantee that you're even going to bond with your baby. You know, people have this idea that things are going to be a certain way. And I mean, haven't we learned yet? Nobody's life works out exactly the way they want it to. That's just not how it goes. And when having kids, kids are their own little people, and you can exert your influence on them, but they're still their own person. There's no guarantee they're going to be anything like you. So, why did I bring that up? I don't know. The comments on here, self-important cat said, it's such a dream come true, right? And the OP responded, yeah, I almost don't wish it on anyone. It's too good. Someone who deleted their account said, watching everyone around you enjoy their lives is the worst part. Yeah, you know why this is so awful? Because we don't need any more people on Earth, in my humble opinion. This is my channel, and the opinions expressed here are mine and no one else's, and for entertainment purposes only. But there are too many people on Earth. There are not enough resources to comfortably support everyone. We have a billionaire class that has taken over much of the world that is just making life miserable for the 99%. Why would you want to bring more people into this life to suffer? Just so you can feel like you've fulfilled your purpose? You don't need a purpose. Just enjoy your life. Raising children is not a purpose. It's a burden, in my opinion. Water of wind. Blank is the most magical thing. You will be happier when blank. The best days of your life are when blank. The happiest people are people who blank. Whenever I hear any of these, no matter what goes after the blank, I listen with caution. Happiness is not due to circumstances. Two people can have the same circumstances, and one can be happy and one can be miserable. Very true. So I give a side eye anytime magic or happiness is placed into circumstances. Phil Fightmaster said, it is magic, but the kind of magic where a witch puts a spell on you that makes you slowly shit yourself to death. Oh, God. There's nothing magical about having kids, y'all. I mean, if it is magical to you, by all means, go for it. You are the person who should have kids. But to these folks, why did they have children? I mean, we're told by, and I broad generalization, I know, but we're told by society that you will not know true love and true happiness until you have children. Bullshit! Happiness is fleeting. No one, not one human that was ever born, in fact, not one creature that was ever born on this planet is ever meant to be happy all the time. However, we do make decisions, we humans are able to make decisions regarding our own happiness. And though happiness is fleeting, freedom is not. And freedom is far more important. So before you have kids, ask yourself, what do I value more? My legacy, having someone with my name, or freedom? And when you have freedom, you can create more happiness. So just think about that. Okay, next post is by user Throw Me Away. There's a happy little screen name. And it's support, no advice. My wife, 29-year-old female, and I, 32-year-old male, had our first and hopefully only child 4 years ago. So the wife was 25, the husband was 28, and they had a kid. I mean, that used to be like a normal age to have kids, but we don't need that shit anymore. I mean, nobody should be having a kid until they're at least 30, in my opinion. A boy. All my life, I thought I wanted to be a dad, and it would be something I would be good at. Fantasized having a little family with my wife, my best friend. When my wife and I were dating, the subject of kids were broached. She said she wasn't against the idea, but that she knew she wasn't against the idea. That means she's definitely against the practice of raising children. But that she knew how much work it was going to be, and the idea of parenthood made her somewhat anxious. It should make you shit your pants, ma'am. I told her not to be negative, that it would all work out. Oh, famous last words of so many regretful parents. That there's a payoff for raising a child. Oh, yeah? What is the payoff? You think your kid's going to grow up to be the next Taylor Swift or something? Or whoever, some big star of sports or screen or science. Your kid's going to find the cure for Lou Gehrig's disease. I mean, the odds are greatly stacked against you. Okay, he goes on. She told me she didn't want to go into parenthood blind, so she started buying all of these parenting books and insisted we take parenting classes. Smart lady. I thought she was being a little much, to be honest. No, sir, she was the smart one of the two of you. She would tell me she was worried that having a baby would change us or change her. Yes, on both counts, it will. When we got pregnant, she did seem happy about it, although as the pregnancy went on, she was getting more and more nervous, scared that we were no longer going to have a social life. Duh. Worried something would be wrong with the baby. Worried we wouldn't get enough help. Worried her entire identity would become wrapped up in motherhood. Well, yeah, that's what you sign up for. At one point, she told me she hoped this would all be worth it, like I was constantly telling her it would be. I was naive, though. Yes, sir, you were, because you're a man. So naive. My son is the most work I have ever had to deal with in my entire life. He doesn't sleep, man. He refuses to. He fights us on everything. I know the toddler years are hard, but I didn't think it would be like this. He had colic as a baby, and that nearly killed us. My wife was right, and it kills me every single day. We're not the same anymore. No, you're not. Because before, you were a child-free couple, and now you are mommy and daddy. End of story. We barely have time for each other. Obviously, have you ever seen how much work it takes to care for a new baby? He goes on, we love the little guy, but our entire world has had to shift, and I don't know if I'm emotionally strong enough to keep going. Well, too fucking bad now, because you're dad, and you have no choice. You have to keep going. I only know I have to because I made a commitment to my wife and son. I should have listened to my wife. If your partner ever shows some hesitancy, don't dismiss them. Really listen to them. Try to understand why they're feeling hesitant. Don't be a stubborn, naive young person like I was. The only good news is we have both agreed to be one and done. I used to want 3, but one is more than enough. Maybe one is too much, but it's too late to go back now. Yeah, it's too fucking late once the kid is there. It's too fucking late once you get into the viable part of the pregnancy. Why did you not think of this before? Why did you not listen to your wife? Why did you not go volunteer somewhere where you can be around babies and kids and just listen to what it's like? Never mind having to do all the work. Oh, God. He goes on, some say it gets better, and God, I sure hope that's true. I kind of need it to be. I just needed to get this off my chest. Thanks. And the comments on here, that bitch is me said, I was just telling someone that I wish people talked about the ugliness of becoming parents rather than glorify the occasional beautiful moments. It's not always sunshine and rainbows. It's losing your mind and yourself. You lose yourself when you have kids, if you are a good parent, because you have to stay still and stay steady so that your children can learn to be confident in the world and in themselves. You have to fucking chill. You have to be mom so they know that someone's there, or dad, whatever. Why do people not know this? There is no excuse for this in this day and age. I have a 10 and 3-year-old and they both drive me nuts. If someone told me about never sleeping properly ever again, or having to buy food all the time because of school and daycare lunches, or planning a fucking birthday every year, I would never have had kids. I do that all, but I wish I didn't have to. sucks my bank account dry, and I can't stand planning crap. Oh, God. Miss Thick Biscuit said, I am very vocal about how hard this shit is and have been constantly shut down, invalidated, and written off as negative, or told that's what motherhood is, just total and unrelenting sacrifice, and I am a she-devil for not loving every minute of it. Some folks see complaining about my kids' behaviors and how difficult it can all be to manage by myself, and somehow feel that as though I'm talking shit about my kid and not the situation. It's so annoying to have to sugarcoat and filter everything I say just to keep the positivity police off my back. Yeah. Well, I mean, for all of human history, basically, but certainly the past few centuries where the world has just become absurdly obsessed with children and child safety and child psychology and all of that. Women were never allowed to express how awful motherhood can be or how awful it is all the time for them, because women were told that that is the point of being alive if you're female, is to have babies. How that works for, people who are infertile, I mean, do they just not count as people? Jesus. Beg your pardon said, I'm sorry you have been dismissed that way for sharing your honest experience. I think the reason people do this is because your honesty shatters the facade they've constructed for themselves. Yep. You're threatening their carefully curated self-deception. Very true. Very, very true. Lucy Dominique, too, said, be proactive and get a vasectomy. And the OP said, that is the plan. Well, for fuck's sake, sir, do it now, not when she gets pregnant again. Okay, last post for this video, and this is by someone who deleted their account, and it's called Not Sure What the Hell I Was Thinking. I have always been a person on the fence about having kids. I had personally thought that if it happened, then great, and if it didn't, that is okay too. Yeah, that's being on the fence, and that's not a good place to be. Not in the 21st century, sir. My wife has always really wanted children, so I had pictured that I would inevitably end up having kids. I spent a lot of time trying to convince myself that it would be worthwhile. If you have to convince yourself that something is going to be worthwhile, then it's not worthwhile for you. I don't have to convince myself that fostering puppies is going to be worthwhile for me, because I already know it is. If you really, really want children and you are the person who should have children, you don't have to think about whether or not it's worthwhile. And this is the guy. Never mind what his wife has to go through. He goes on. I would daydream about seeing my two children, a boy and a girl. Here we go. Here we go with the fantasy moment. That's always when people talk about how they want kids in the future, they usually have a fantasy moment. And it's like, yeah, it would just be so cool to have a little boy in Little League or a little girl in ballet class. And you picture yourself as the parent glowing over your child's talent and brilliance. And that's a fantasy. I mean, you might have a moment like that, but that's not what raising a kid is all about. He goes on. Going to the pool or the park or other places where they would be happy and free, their inquisitive and energetic nature fueling some lost sense of my own self that was lost in the cynical, often pessimistic perspective of my own existence. Sir, just because of that sentence, you should not be having children. Jesus Christ. With everything that has happened, with my wife's troubles to getting and staying pregnant, and the whirlwind that was the last pregnancy, I had finally felt like this was our destiny. We found out early that we were having twins, and it felt like everything I was picturing was coming true. For many people, COVID was an awful time. The isolation mixed with job uncertainty, I would imagine, created a great deal of depression. Me and my wife, on the other hand, thrived during this time. My wife, an ER nurse, was working a lot, able to bring in a large paycheck due to the need for ever-increasing overtime. My work was already remote well before the pandemic was even a thought in most people's mind. We were able to pay off a great deal of our debts, and prior prior to everything happening with the student loan forgiveness fiasco, it was not a fiasco. It would have been the first time in either of our adult lives that we were completely void of any debt. While we did not have as much time to spend together, the time that we did spend together was fantastic. Part of the whole distance makes the heart grow fonder scenario. Fast forward to now. My sons, so they had twin boys, are now 10 months old. Between doctor's visits for them, my wife, pregnancy did a number on her, you think, carrying fucking twins, and myself, and to me too, apparently, needing a safer vehicle for my sons to be in, and all the other added expenses that come with having children, not to mention the stress of trying to find 2 different types of formula. We have gone from being nearly debt-free to being worse off than we had been previously. The previous year's expenses wiped out our HSA account, and with multiple needs for our sons, my wife, and myself, we have put nearly all of our savings into paying for doctor visits, operations, and a new vehicle. This guy's got to be in the States. Worse yet, since we had twins, my wife is now staying at home with them full time, as childcare is so damn blasted expensive. Yeah, you should look into that before you decide to have a kid. We would have been losing money for her to return to work. Beyond that, what's not to hate about being a parent of twin infants? I work from home, but I also help with the boys' chores, etc. Neither of them have consistently slept through the night up to this point, and they're 10 months old, although one of the boys is getting close. So more often than not, both of us end up getting up periodically through the night to calm them, feed them, change them, rock them, etc. God bless my wife. I know she puts up with the brunt of the work for them, not to mention how hard she works to keep us all fed, get them to doctor's appointments, and do everything she can to make sure I get enough sleep to function. Nevertheless, she feels more like a coworker now than my partner. Yeah, because you're now the owners of a very small daycare. Children have strained our relationship immensely, as we often find ourselves nipping at one another rather than being as supportive as we have been in the past. I'm not sure what the hell I was thinking. You weren't thinking. You weren't. You were fantasizing about that one moment that is like your idea of being a parent. I get that this was too long, didn't read. It was mostly for my own benefit. To anyone who has had kids and read this, I get it now. I get how terrible the experience is. To those of you who haven't let this be a warning, you will give everything up when you have kids. Money, freedom, sleep, sanity, and even possibly your marriage or domestic partnership. Too long, don't read message. Kids suck. Amen, sir. They absolutely do. That was what my dad always said. My dad always told me, kids suck, and I'm his only kid. And I certainly took that to heart. Someone who deleted their account said, I always tell people, do you like sleeping? Do you like doing what you want when you want? If so, you shouldn't have kids. And that usually helps them. Matcha cat is green cat. Sad thing is people don't usually tell those and trick people into having a child and telling them it's the most amazing thing. Yeah, that is really, really sad. And that's mainly because misery loves company and parents want everyone to be as miserable as they are. That's why child-free people get so much crap about, oh, we're selfish. We're not adding to the world's problems by bringing more useless consumers in to suck up resources, but somehow we're selfish? Round Antelope 552 said, despite my little one's challenges, he's 4, I still take him on cleaning jobs, and sometimes he helps me with things like the little vacuum, etc. I can understand and will support him should his disabilities be in the way, but if capable of doing so, he will be expected to participate, even a little, in the family business to what he is reasonably capable. If he's unable to do this, he will be expected to assist around the home and participate in community programs and services. If he will not participate, and if it is not a result of disability and he just wants to sit at home doing drugs and masturbating all day, he is to pay more for bills such as power, water, and internet. There is no free ride on me. I've given up enough in life to help others, and they have spat in my face. Ma'am or sir, why did you have a child? My God. Seriously, why did people have kids just to fucking bitch and complain about them and try and make them pay rent when they turn 18 and all this other dumb shit? You chose to have a kid. If the kid is living in your basement when they're over 18, sitting around playing video games and masturbating all day, that's on you. Puma Thurman said, I started calling my twins semen demons because I swear to God they are possessed. All joking aside, I hate people that get all dreamy and doe-eyed when they hear my kids are twins because it is absolutely not all fun and games. And Not Early Enough Salt said, I have twin boys who are now 14. Parenting twins when they're young is an absolute nightmare, or at least that was my experience. But it gets better, I promise. It'll never be easy exactly, but it won't be this hard, and your relationship will almost definitely improve. Getting sleep will be a game changer. Keep going. Ugh. Gross. That is just gross. Like, have kids so you can be miserable until they are old enough to sleep more, so then you can get more sleep and then you'll be much better off. Why don't you just not have kids and sleep in every weekend and take naps and enjoy yourself and enjoy your life and go foster some animals while you're at it? And that's what I got for you today, guys. If you like this video, please like it. Please do subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I make child-free content. I make content on other random topics, and I make content on Alexandra Rodriguez. If you don't know who that is, she's all over my playlist. Just go check it out at your own risk. But if you are someone who likes my child-free content, please let me know what you think of these Reddit stories. Do you feel like it's worth it to make content on them? Because I really do. I am so sorry for all of these people that all they had to do to solve or prevent all of these problems is not have kids. And everything would be fixed. Everything in their life would be fixed if they didn't have kids. You don't have a regretful child-free subreddit, you know? Like, just think about that. Are you really missing out that much if you don't have kids? Are you brave enough to express the fact that you don't want kids, even though, particularly in the States, we are overrun with religious nuts who seem to think that if you have a uterus, you need to use it like a clown car and have as many babies as possible? Bullshit! Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I really love hearing from all of you. And thank you so much for everyone who stops by to hear me talk shit on the internet. And I will see you guys in the next video. And thank you so much.